A promise made in the moonlight is only as strong as the secrets waiting in the morning. Part 1 ended with a vow, a breathless kiss, and a commitment to face the future together. But as Chapter 6 begins, the high-flying world of a billionaire CEO doesn't stay quiet for long. The arranged marriage he tried to walk away from isn't just a contract, it's a trap. As Davis and the CEO step out of the shadows and into the light of day, the consequences of their elevator encounter begin to spiral. In this final half, the stakes shift from stolen glances to a battle for survival. Can a love born in a moment of rebellion survive the weight of two different worlds colliding? The CEO chose his heart over his business. Now he has to deal with the fallout.
Chapter 6. I should have known Tuesday would be a disaster. It started fine, woke up in Liam's arms, had breakfast, he made eggs again, which was apparently his only cooking skill, went to work together in his town car like we were a normal couple doing normal things. Except we weren't normal. Normal people didn't have lawyers filing restraining orders against vengeful socialites. Normal people didn't have their boyfriend's security team doing background checks on their parents' neighbors. By 10 a.m., I was drowning in work that Marcus kept bringing me, reports to review, calls to screen, meetings to schedule. Apparently, being Liam's executive assistant meant actually assisting with executive things, which would have been fine except I had no idea what I was doing. Just initial here, Marcus said, pointing to a document. This authorizes the acquisition of a software company in Seattle. I stared at the number. $47 million? Small acquisition. Mr. Sterling does 3 or 4 of these a month. Marcus smiled. Don't worry, he's already approved it. You're just processing the paperwork. I signed, my hand shaking slightly. 4 days ago, I was filing documents and acquisitions. Now I was authorizing $47 million purchases like it was nothing. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Tick-tock, Ethan. 36 hours left to make your choice. See. My blood ran cold. Another text. Your mother has a doctor's appointment Thursday. Would be a shame if her insurance suddenly lapsed. I stood abruptly, the chair scraping against the floor. Mr. Miller, are you all right? Marcus looked concerned. I need to use the bathroom. I didn't go to the bathroom. I went to the stairwell, the one place in the building where I knew there weren't cameras, and called my mom. She answered on the second ring. Ethan, honey, this is a surprise. Is everything okay? Yeah, Mom. I wanted to check on you. How are you feeling? Oh, I'm fine. A little tired, but the new medication is helping. She paused. Actually, something strange happened today. The pharmacy called and said all my prescriptions are suddenly covered at 100%, no copays. They said some kind of trust fund is paying for it. Liam, he'd already done it. That's great, Mom. Ethan, do you know something about this? Because the woman on the phone mentioned Sterling Corp, and I know that's where you work. It's probably just a company benefit, new healthcare plan or something. Well, it's a blessing, that's for sure. Your father and I were worried about how we'd afford the increase. Your voice softened. How are you doing, sweetheart? We saw all that news about Mr. Sterling. The whole neighborhood is talking about it. I'm fine, Mom. Everything's fine. You sound stressed. Just busy with work, new position, lots to learn. Well, don't work too hard. And Ethan, she hesitated, if you ever need to come home, you know you can, right? Your room is still here. My throat tightened. I know, Mom. I love you. Love you too, sweetheart. I hung up and leaned against the concrete wall, trying to breathe. Liam had protected them. He'd done exactly what he said he would. So why did I still feel like the walls were closing in? Because Chloe wasn't going to stop. She'd proven that with her texts. And Liam's protection only went so far. What if she found another way? What if she hurt them just to hurt me? My phone buzzed again. Another unknown number. I have photos of your apartment, the one in the Bronx. Your roommate Josh looks like a nice guy. Be a shame if something happened to him. No. She was escalating, threatening Josh now. My hand shook as I tried to call Liam, but it went straight to voicemail. He was probably in a meeting. Another text. You have one choice, Ethan. Leave NYC tonight. Take your parents with you. I'll even help you relocate, or stay and watch everyone you love suffer. I slid down the wall, my chest tight. This was my fault, all of it. If I just stayed away from Liam that night in the elevator, none of this would be happening. The stairwell door opened. Marcus. Mr. Miller, I've been looking everywhere for, then stopped, seeing me on the floor. Are you all right? I need to talk to Liam, right now. He's in a board meeting. It's scheduled until noon. I don't care. I need to see him. Marcus studied me for a moment, then nodded. Follow me. He led me to the boardroom on the 47th floor. Through the glass walls, I could see Liam at the head of a massive table, surrounded by older men in expensive suits. His grandfather was there, too, looking angry about something. Marcus knocked once, then opened the door. Sir, I apologize for the interruption, but Mr. Miller needs to speak to you urgently. Every face in the room turned toward me. Liam's grandfather's expression was pure contempt. Liam stood immediately. Excuse me, gentlemen. We'll resume in 15 minutes. Liam, we're in the middle of... His grandfather started. 15 minutes. His voice was ice. Marcus, clear the room.
I'd never seen people move so fast. Within 30 seconds, the boardroom was empty except for me and Liam. He crossed to me, his hands immediately finding my face. What's wrong? What happened? I showed him the text. I watched his expression go from concern to furious in the space of a heartbeat. She's threatening Josh now, I said, my voice breaking. She's threatening everyone I know. Liam, I can't let this happen. I have to leave. No, his grip tightened. Absolutely not. I don't have a choice. She's going to hurt them. She's not going to hurt anyone because I'm going to stop her. He pulled out his phone, dialed. James, it's Sterling. I need a security detail on an address in the Bronx. He rattled off my apartment address from memory. And I need another team on my parents' house in Queens. Anyone approaches, I want to know about it. Yes, immediately. He hung up and looked back at me. Done. Your apartment and your parents' house are both under surveillance. If Chloe or anyone connected to her comes within a block, we'll know. That's not enough. She's connected, Liam. She has money. She has debt. His voice was sharp. And I have her family's financial records. Every fraudulent loan, every forged document, every illegal transaction. He cupped my face, forcing me to meet his eyes. I told you I would protect you. I meant it. But what if... No. He kissed me, hard and possessive. No more what-ifs, no more fear. I am handling this. How? By having her arrested? That takes time, and in the meantime, then I'll make time move faster. He pulled out his phone again. Marcus, get me the FBI field office. Special Agent Chen. Tell him it's about the Westbrook case, and I have evidence. Yes, now. I stared at him. You're actually doing this. I told you I would. He was already dialing another number. Now sit down before you pass out. You look pale. I sank into one of the boardroom chairs, my head spinning. Liam paced by the windows, his phone pressed to his ear, and I heard fragments of conversation. Financial fraud spanning 7 years. Falsified loan applications to at least 4 banks. Yes, I can have the documents delivered within the hour. He wasn't bluffing. He was actually turning her family over to the FBI. For me. He ended the call and returned to where I sat, kneeling in front of me so we were eye level. The FBI is opening an investigation, he said quietly. By this time tomorrow, Chloe is going to have much bigger problems than revenge. She'll be too busy trying to keep her parents out of prison. Liam, this is nuclear. She threatened you. She threatened your family. His eyes were hard. What did she expect? That I'd just let her? Most people would try negotiation first. I'm not most people. He took my hands. And you're not most people's boyfriend. You're mine, which means you get the full force of everything I am when someone tries to hurt you. That's terrifying. That's love. He kissed my knuckles. Terrifying, obsessive, burn down the world love. Still want to leave? I looked at him. This impossible, dangerous, brilliant man who just sicked the FBI on someone for threatening me. No, I whispered. I don't want to leave. Good. He stood, pulling me up with him. Because I'm not done yet. We're going to your apartment right now. You're going to pack up everything important. Josh is going to come stay at my place until this blows over. You can't just move my roommate into your penthouse. Watch me. I have 5 bedrooms. He can pick whichever one he wants. Liam was already texting someone, probably Marcus. And your parents,
I want them out of Queens, somewhere safe. They're not going to leave their house because of some threats. They will when I explain that your son's girlfriend, ex-fiancé, is currently being investigated by federal agents for financial crimes and has been making terroristic threats. His smile was sharp. Trust me, they'll pack. This is insane. This is Tuesday. He kissed my forehead. Come on, let's go get your stuff before Chloe realizes how fucked she actually is. The ride to the Bronx was tense. Liam sat beside me, his hand on my thigh, his other hand on his phone, coordinating what looked like a small military operation. Security team is already at your building. 2 in the lobby, 2 outside. If Chloe shows up, they'll detain her until police arrive. You're bringing an army to my shitty apartment building. I'm protecting what's mine. He squeezed my thigh. And it's not shitty. It's where you grew up. That makes it important. God, I love this man. We pulled up to my building, a 6-story walk-up that had seen better days around 1970. Sure enough, there were 2 men in dark suits loitering by the entrance, earpieces visible, looking wildly out of place. This is going to be so weird for my neighbors, muttered. Your neighbors are going to feel very safe today, Liam cried out, offering me his hand. Come on. We made it to my 4th-floor apartment without incident. I unlocked the door to find Josh on the couch, staring at his phone with wide eyes. Ethan, dude! He jumped up. There are security guys in our lobby with earpieces. What the hell is going on? Josh, this is Liam. Liam, Josh. I gestured between them. And it's a long story. Josh looked at Liam, then at me, then back at Liam. Holy shit, you're actually dating him. I thought maybe the news was exaggerating, but you're actually...
Dating him, yes. Liam extended his hand. Nice to meet you, Josh. Sorry about the security. There's been some complications. Complications? Josh shook his hand, still looking dazed. What kind of complications require armed guards? The kind where my ex-fiancé is threatening Ethan and everyone he knows, Liam said bluntly, which is why you're both packing bags and coming to stay at my place until the FBI finishes their investigation. Josh turned to me. FBI? Ethan, what the hell have you been doing? Falling in love with someone whose ex is criminally insane, I said weakly. Can we pack now and have the breakdown later? This is the breakdown. But Josh was already moving toward his room. Fine, but I want the full story, with details, all the details. Liam smiled slightly. I like him. Of course you do. He's loud and chaotic. You probably find it entertaining. I find you entertaining. He pulled me close. Now pack. I want you and Josh out of here in 20 minutes. It took 30 minutes, but we managed it. I stuffed clothes and toiletries and my laptop into a duffel bag while Liam stood by the window, watching the street like he expected Chloe to materialize with a weapon. Josh emerged with his own bag, still looking shell-shocked. So we're just moving into a billionaire's penthouse? That's happening? Temporarily, I said. Permanently if I have my way, Liam added. Ethan's not coming back here. It's not safe. It's my home. It's a 4th-floor walk-up with no security and locks that a 12-year-old could pick. His voice was firm. You're not staying here, Ethan, not while she's a threat. So what, I just move in with you after 4 days? Yes. He turned to face me. That's exactly what you do, unless you have a better suggestion. I didn't, and honestly, the thought of sleeping alone in my apartment while Chloe was out there making threats made my skin crawl. Fine, I said, but I'm keeping this place. I'm not giving up my lease. Keep it. I don't care. He picked up my duffel bag like it weighed nothing. As long as you're sleeping in my bed every night, you can keep as many apartments as you want. Josh made a strangled sound. You guys are insane. Like clinically insane. You know that, right? Yep, I said. Absolutely, Liam agreed. Now let's go. I have your parents to relocate next. My parents were surprisingly calm about the whole thing. Well, my mom was calm. My dad looked like he wanted to punch something. Let me get this straight, Dad said, sitting in their small living room while Liam's security team waited outside. Some rich girl is threatening our family because you're dating her ex-fiancé? Essentially, yes, Liam said. He insisted on coming with me to explain in person. And I take full responsibility. Ethan got caught in the crossfire of my family's drama. And you want us to leave our home? Mom asked. Just temporarily, until the FBI completes their investigation. Liam leaned forward, his elbows on his knees. Mr. and Mrs. Miller, I know we just met. I know this sounds insane, but your son means everything to me, and I will not take chances with his safety, or yours. My dad studied him for a long moment. You're serious about him? I'm in love with him, Liam said simply, and I'd burn down my entire empire before I'd let anything happen to him. Mom's hand flew to her chest. Oh my. Dad, I started, but he held up a hand. I'm not done. He looked at Liam. You hurt my son, and I don't care how many billions you have. I will find a way to make your life hell. Understood? Liam's smile was genuine. Understood. Though for the record, hurting Ethan would hurt me more than anything you could do. Good answer. Dad stood, offering his hand. All right, Maria, start packing. Looks like we're taking an unexpected vacation. Where are we going? Mom asked. I have a property in Vermont. Quiet, secure, no one will know you're there. Vermont. The word echoed in my head. Vermont, where everything was about to go very, very wrong. Chapter 7. Everything fell apart on Wednesday. Tuesday night had been perfect. My parents were safely relocated to Liam's Vermont property, a cabin that turned out to be a 6-bedroom house with a view of the mountains. Josh was set up in one of Liam's guest rooms, already raiding the expensive wine collection. And I was in Liam's bed, wrapped in his arms, feeling like maybe, just maybe, everything was going to be all right. Then Wednesday morning happened. I woke up to Liam already gone, which was unusual. He always waited for me to wake up, always kissed me goodbye before heading to his home office for early calls. But his side of the bed was cold. I checked my phone. 3 missed calls from an unknown number. No voicemail. Then a text came through. Check your email. Your boyfriend isn't who you think he is. See. My stomach dropped. I shouldn't have opened it. I should have deleted it immediately and told Liam. But my hands were already moving, opening my email, clicking on the message from an anonymous sender.
It was a document, a contract, actually, between Liam and Chloe's family, dated 6 months ago. Sterling Corp Acquisition Proposal, Westbrook Industries. I scanned the document, my heart sinking with every line. In exchange for Sterling Corp's acquisition of Westbrook Industries' remaining assets, Liam Sterling agrees to honor the pre-existing engagement arrangement. Merger to be finalized upon marriage, combining family holdings. Sterling to assume all Westbrook debts as part of marital agreement. There was more. Pages of legal language, but the message was clear. Liam had agreed to marry Chloe, had signed a legal contract 6 months ago promising to go through with it. My phone rang. The unknown number. I answered without thinking. What is this? Chloe's laugh was bitter. The truth. He agreed to marry me, Ethan, signed a legal contract. The only reason he backed out was because he meant you that night. But guess what? Breaking that contract means he now owes my family $200 million in damages. My hand shook. $200 million? Breach of contract. His lawyers are trying to fight it, but the document is ironclad. Her voice turned cruel. So here's what's really happening. He's not protecting you out of love. He's protecting his investment. If my family goes to prison, they can't sue him for the money. He's using the FBI to eliminate his financial liability. He wouldn't. Come on, Ethan. You've known him for 5 days. You're a nobody from the Bronx. You really think a billionaire CEO fell in love with you? Or did he see an opportunity to get out of a bad deal? My chest was tight. I couldn't breathe. I'm sending you proof, she continued. Emails between Liam and his lawyers. They're discussing the Ethan strategy. How dating you gives him grounds to break the engagement contract. How your relationship is the perfect excuse. My email pinged. Another message. More documents. I saw my name over and over again. The relationship with Miller provides necessary justification for contract termination. Public nature of the affair strengthens our position. Recommend continuing the relationship until litigation is resolved. No, this couldn't be real. He's using you, Chloe said softly. And when the lawsuit is settled, when my family is safely in prison and can't sue him anymore, he'll drop you like yesterday's trash. You're just a convenient excuse, a pawn in a billionaire's game. The phone slipped from my hands. I sat on the bed, Liam's bed, where he'd held me and told me he loved me, and stared at the documents on my laptop screen. It couldn't be true. Liam wouldn't. He chose me. He'd canceled his engagement, told his family to fuck off, come out to his entire company. But the documents looked real. The emails had timestamps, legal letterhead, everything. My phone buzzed. Another text from Liam. Meeting running long. Miss you. L. Miss me. Or miss his convenient excuse to get out of a $200 million lawsuit. Another text from Chloe. Your parents are in Vermont, right? A shame if they found out their son is being used. Or maybe they already suspect. Maybe that's why you moved them, so they wouldn't ask too many questions. No, she was twisting everything, making me doubt everything. But the documents. My phone rang again. Josh, from the guest room. Ethan? Dude, there's some weird guy in a suit asking for you. Says he's a lawyer. I didn't let him in, but he's insisting. I'll be right there. I pulled on clothes, jeans, a t-shirt, not the expensive stuff Liam had bought me, and walked to the penthouse entrance with my heart hammering. A man in his 50s stood in the hallway, briefcase in hand. Ethan Miller? Who are you? David Chen. I'm an attorney with Westbrook Family Services. He offered a business card I didn't take. I'm here to deliver a formal notice regarding the breach of contract lawsuit against Liam Sterling. I have nothing to do with that. Actually, you're named in the suit as the reason for the breach. He pulled out another document. You're being called as a witness. The court wants to establish the timeline of your relationship with Mr. Sterling to determine if the engagement was broken in bad faith. My stomach turned. I'm not testifying against him. You may not have a choice. If you're subpoenaed, he paused, studying my face. Mr. Miller, do you know why Mr. Sterling's legal team has been so aggressive in pursuing criminal charges against the Westbrook family? Because they threatened me. Partially, but also because if the family goes to prison, they can't sue him for the $200 million. Convenient, isn't it? He set the document on the hallway table. I'm not saying Mr. Sterling doesn't care about you, but I am saying you should ask yourself what happens when the lawsuit goes away, when you're no longer useful. He left. I stood in the hallway, staring at the document, my mind racing. Josh appeared beside me. Ethan, what's going on? I need to make a call. I called my parents. Mom answered, sounding happy. Ethan, this house is beautiful. Your father's already talking about teaching Liam how to fish. Mom, I need you to pack up, now. What? Honey, what's wrong?
I can't explain, but I need you and Dad to leave Vermont. Today, right now. Ethan, you're scaring me. Please, Mom. My voice cracked. Please, just trust me. Pack everything. I'm going to send you money for a hotel. Just get out of there. Silence. Then, okay, sweetheart. We'll pack, but you need to tell us what's happening. I will. I promise. Just leave. Now. I hung up and stared at my phone, at the emails, at the contract, at everything that suddenly felt like a lie. Maybe Chloe was right. Maybe I was just a pawn. Or maybe she was manipulating me. Maybe the documents were fake. Maybe... My phone buzzed. Liam. Finally out of this meeting. Heading home now. Can't wait to see you. L. I had maybe 20 minutes before he got back. 20 minutes to decide if I was going to confront him or run. Josh was watching me from the living room doorway. Man, whatever's happening, you look like you're about to do something stupid. I swallowed hard. I think I need to leave. Leave? Leave where? Here, NYC, all of it. I was already moving toward the guest room where I'd left my duffel bag. I need to get my parents and go somewhere Chloe can't find us, somewhere Liam can't... I stopped. Somewhere Liam couldn't find me. Was I really about to run from the man who told me he loved me, who'd protected my family, who'd held me every night like I was the most precious thing in his world? But what if it was all a lie? What if Chloe was right? Ethan, Josh followed me. You're spiraling.
Whatever that lawyer said, whatever documents you saw, talk to Liam first. Don't just run. I can't. I was throwing clothes into the bag, my hand shaking. If I talk to him, he'll convince me to stay. He's good at that. He's good at making me believe. That he loves you? Josh grabbed my arm, stopping me. Because from where I'm standing, the dude is obsessed with you. Like, genuinely, terrifyingly obsessed. That's not something you fake. People fake things for $200 million. What? I showed him the documents, watched his expression change from confusion to understanding to anger. Fuck. Ethan, this could be fake. Chloe could have fabricated all of this. Or it could be real. And I can't stay and find out. I can't watch him realize I'm not useful anymore and throw me away like your dad threw away your mom's birthday gifts when money got tight. Like your high school girlfriend dumped you when she found out you were poor? Ethan, you're not that kid anymore, and Liam Sterling is not those people. You don't know that. Neither do you. So talk to him. Show him the documents. Ask him to explain. If he lies, you'll know. If he tells the truth, you'll know. But don't run before you give him a chance. I wanted to listen. God, I wanted to believe Josh was right. But my phone buzzed again. Another email from the anonymous sender. He's 5 minutes away. If you're going to run, run now. Because once he gets his hands on you again, he won't let you go. See. Terror shot through me. She was right. If I stayed, if I confronted Liam, he'd talk me out of leaving. He'd explain everything in that voice that made me believe anything, and I'd stay. And maybe he'd be telling the truth. Or maybe I'd spend weeks or months falling deeper in love with him, only to have him discard me when I was no longer useful. I couldn't survive that. Not after finally feeling like I mattered to someone. I have to go, I said, zipping the bag. I have to get my parents and go somewhere safe, just until I can think clearly. Ethan, tell him... I stopped. What could I possibly say? Tell him I'm sorry. I grabbed my bag and headed for the service elevator, the one the cleaning staff used, the one that didn't require going through the main entrance where Liam would see me leaving. Josh followed. This is a mistake. You know it's a mistake. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. The elevator arrived. I stepped inside. Josh stayed in the doorway. He's going to lose his mind when he realizes you're gone. I know. The doors started to close. That's what I'm counting on. If he really loves me, he'll find me. And if he doesn't, then Chloe was right all along. The doors closed. I made it to Grand Central Station before the panic truly set in. My parents were already on their way to a hotel in New Jersey, neutral ground, nowhere Liam or Chloe would think to look. I drained my savings account, all $3,000 of it, and bought 3 bus tickets to Burlington, Vermont, not Liam's property, a small town 2 hours away, somewhere I could think, somewhere I could figure out what was real and what was manipulation. My phone was exploding with calls, Liam, Marcus, even Josh. I turned it off. If I heard Liam's voice, I'd break. I'd go running back to the penthouse and beg him to tell me it wasn't true, that I mattered, that I was more than a convenient excuse. The bus pulled away from the station at 2:47 p.m. By 3 p.m., I was watching Manhattan disappear behind me and crying silently into my jacket sleeve. By 3:30 p.m., Liam was probably arrived home to an empty penthouse. And by 4 p.m., based on the 17 missed calls before I turned off my phone, he'd realized I was gone. 3:15 p.m., his penthouse. I knew something was wrong the moment I walked in. The air felt different, empty, wrong. Ethan, I called out. Silence. Ethan? Louder now, walking toward the bedroom. Josh emerged from the guest room, his expression guilty. Where is he? I asked, my chest already tight. He left. The world tilted. What do you mean he left? A lawyer showed up from the Westbrook family, and Chloe sent him some documents, emails, a contract. Josh held up his hands. I tried to stop him, tried to tell him to talk to you first, but he was convinced you were using him, that you only dated him to get out of some lawsuit. I went very, very still. What document? Josh showed me his phone, screenshots Ethan had sent Josh, the acquisition proposal, the emails discussing relationship strategy. Rage flooded my system, white hot and consuming. These are fake, I said flatly. I figured, But Ethan didn't know that. He thought, "Where did he go?" My voice came out deadly calm. "I don't know. He wouldn't tell me. Just said he was getting his parents and going somewhere safe." He swallowed hard. He said if you really loved you, you'd find him. I pulled out my phone, already dialing. "Marcus, I need you to track Ethan's phone. I don't care if it's off. Use GPS history. Also check all transportation hubs, buses, trains, rental cars, and pull all security footage from this building for the past hour. I need to know which direction he went." I hung up and turned back to Josh. "How long ago?" 30 minutes, maybe 40. 40 minutes. He'd been running for 40 minutes while I was stuck in a goddamn meeting. My phone rang. "Marcus." "Sir, his phone is off, but the last GPS ping was Grand Central Station. He was looking at bus routes to Vermont before the phone went dark." Vermont, where I'd sent his parents. Smart. He'd go somewhere familiar, somewhere I thought I wouldn't look. "Get me a helicopter," I said, "and the address of every hotel, motel, and rental property within 100 miles of Burlington. I want local PI firms on standby. And Marcus, sir, I want Chloe Westbrook arrested today. Those documents she sent were fabricated evidence designed to interfere with a federal investigation. Add witness intimidation to her charges. Consider it done." I hung up and looked at Josh. "When I find him, and I will find him, I'm going to make sure he understands that running from me was the single worst decision he's ever made." Josh paled. "You're not going to hurt him." "I'm going to show him exactly how far I'll go to keep him." My smile was cold. He wants to know if I really love him. Fine. Let's see how he feels when he realizes I'll burn Vermont to the ground to find him. 7:30 p.m. A motel outside Burlington. The motel was exactly the kind of place I remembered from my childhood. Cheap, slightly dingy, with walls so thin you could hear conversations in the next room. But it was cash only and didn't ask for ID, which was exactly what I needed. My parents were in the room next door, confused and worried, but trusting that I knew what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I sat on the rough bedspread, my phone still off, staring at the wall. Had I made a mistake? Josh's words echoed in my head. If he really loves you, he'll find you. But what if he didn't come? What if Chloe was right and I was just a convenient excuse? What if right now he was already moving on, relieved to be rid of the complication I represented? My chest ached. I loved him. God, I loved him so much it felt like my ribs were cracking from the pressure. But love wasn't enough if it wasn't real, if it wasn't mutual, if I was just another acquisition to him. Someone knocked on the door. My heart stopped. "Ethan? Honey, it's Mom. Can we talk?" I opened the door. My parents stood in the hallway, looking worried and exhausted from the bus ride. "Come in," I said quietly. They sat on the bed while I leaned against the dresser, my arms crossed. "Are you gonna tell us what's going on? Because we've been very patient, but moving us out of a beautiful house in the middle of the night and onto a bus to Vermont requires some explanation." So I told them everything. The elevator, the penthouse, the engagement, Chloe's threats, the documents, all of it. When I finished, Mom was crying. Dad looked like he wanted to punch someone. "So, let me get this straight," Dad said slowly. "You fell in love with a billionaire who says he loves you back, but his ex-fiancée sent you fake documents to make you think he's using you, and you, instead of talking to him, ran." Put that way, it sounded incredibly stupid. "I was scared," Mom asked gently. "Of what?" "Of being wrong. Of investing everything in someone who doesn't actually want me." The words caught at my throat. I've spent my whole life being not enough, not rich enough, not smart enough.
Enough, not worth keeping. And Liam made me feel like I was everything. But what if it was a lie? What if I fell for it and then he threw me away? "Oh, sweetheart." Mom stood, crossing to pull me into her arms. "I understand being scared, but running doesn't answer the question. It just prolongs the fear." "Your mother's right," Dad added. "If this Liam really loves you, you need to give him a chance to prove it. If he's using you, you'll find out. But Ethan," he stood, his hand on my shoulder,
From everything you've told us, that man has been obsessed with you from day one, has protected you, protected us, turned his whole life upside down for you. That's not nothing. But the documents could be fake. Probably are fake if this Chloe woman is as desperate as you say. Dad squeezed my shoulder. Talk to him. Show him what she sent. Give him a chance to explain. I wanted to. God, I wanted to turn my phone back on and call him and beg him to come get me. But what if he didn't come? I can't, I whispered. Not yet. I need time to think. Mom and Dad exchanged a look. Okay, Mom said finally. We'll give you tonight, but tomorrow we're talking about this again. And Ethan, she cut my face. You are enough. You've always been enough. Don't let fear make you forget that. They left, closing the door softly behind them. I sat on the bed, staring at my dark phone screen. Tomorrow. I'd decide tomorrow. Tonight, I'd just sit in this cheap motel room and try not to think about how Liam's arms had felt around me, how he'd whispered that he loved me, how he'd looked at me like I was his entire world, and I'd try not to wonder if I had just made the biggest mistake of my life. Chapter 8. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? Every sound in the motel made me jump, thinking it was Liam, thinking he'd found me somehow. Part of me wanted him to. Part of me was terrified he would. By 6 a.m. Thursday morning, I was sitting on the bed, staring at my still dark phone when someone knocked. Not my parents. This knock was different, firm, authoritative. My heart hammered. Who is it? Silence. Then, Ethan. Opened the door. Liam. My entire body went hot and cold simultaneously. He'd found me. In less than 24 hours, he'd tracked me to a cash-only motel outside Burlington, Vermont. I know you're in there, he continued, his voice muffled through the cheap door. I could see the light, and I've been standing outside your parents' room for the past 10 minutes waiting for them to fall back asleep, so don't pretend you're not there. I stood on shaking legs and crossed to the door. My hand hovered over the lock. How did you find me? Credit card records. Your parents used their card at a gas station in Jersey. Traffic cameras picked up your bus. Local PIs checked every motel within 50 miles. His voice was strained, exhausted. Open the door, Ethan. I need more time. You've had 18 hours. That's 18 hours too long. A pause. Please, I'm not leaving until we talk, and I'd rather not have this conversation in a parking lot where your parents can hear. He had a point. I unlocked the door. Liam stood in the early morning light looking like he'd been through hell. His suit was wrinkled. Liam Sterling's suit was wrinkled. His tie was gone, and his hair looked like he'd been running his hands through it for hours. Dark circles shadowed his eyes. He looked at me like I was water, and he'd been dying of thirst. Can I come in? He asked quietly. I stepped back, and he entered, the door closing behind him with a soft click. For a moment, we just stared at each other. Him by the door, me by the bed, with 3 feet of space that felt like miles between us. You left, he said finally. I know. You turned off your phone, disappeared, left me a message through Josh that you were sorry. His voice cracked slightly on the last word. Do you have any idea what that did to me? Liam! I thought something had happened to you. He took a step closer, his hands clenched at his sides. I thought Chloe had taken you or hurt you. I had Marcus coordinate with the FBI, local police, private security. I had a helicopter in the air within 30 minutes, and the entire time, all I could think was that I'd failed you, that I hadn't protected you well enough. Guilt twisted in my chest. I didn't mean to. Then why? Another step. Why did you run instead of talking to me? I pulled out my phone, still off, and turned it on. The screen lit up with notifications. 47 missed calls from Liam, 32 texts, 6 voicemails. I opened my email and showed him the documents that Chloe had sent. Because of these, I said quietly. I watched his expression change as he read, from confusion to understanding to absolute fury. These are fake, he said flatly. Are they? His eyes snapped to mine.
You're asking me if I fabricated a relationship with you to get out of a lawsuit? I'm asking if any of this was real, the words burst out of me. I'm asking if I was just convenient, if dating me publicly gave you an excuse to break your contract, if I was just another business strategy. A business strategy? He laughed, but there was no humor in it. You think what we have is a business strategy?
I don't know what we have. I've known you for less than a week, Liam. And in that week, you've canceled your engagement, come out to your company, moved my entire family, and had your ex-fiancé investigated by federal agents. That's not normal. No, it's not. He closed the distance between us in 2 strides. It's obsessive. It's excessive. It's completely fucking insane. But it's real, Ethan. It's the most real thing in my entire life. How am I supposed to believe that when he kissed me? Hard and desperate and furious, his hands in my hair, his body pressing mine backward until I hit the wall. It was anger and relief and terror all mixed together. When he finally pulled back, we were both breathing hard. That contract? He said, his forehead against mine. I refused to sign it. 6 months ago, when the Westbrook family tried to bind me legally to the engagement, I told them no. They had their lawyers drafted anyway, hoping I'd cave. I never signed. But the document is a draft, unsigned. Chloe or her lawyers added my signature digitally and sent it to you. His hands framed my face. And the emails about relationship strategy, those were fabricated. Yes, my lawyers are using our relationship as evidence that the engagement was coerced and not entered in good faith. But I didn't create our relationship for that purpose. The legal strategy came after, not before. I searched his eyes, looking for any sign of deception. How do I know you're telling the truth? Because I flew to fucking Vermont on 2 hours of sleep to find you. His voice broke. Because I've spent the past 18 hours losing my mind thinking I'd lost you. Because I love you, you stubborn, terrified, beautiful idiot. I love you. Tears spilled down my face. She said you'd get bored, that I was just a nobody you'd throw away when the lawsuit was settled. Then she doesn't know me at all. He wiped my tears with his thumbs. Because I don't get bored with you. I get more addicted. Every day I learn something new. How you take your coffee, what makes you laugh, the face you make when you're concentrating. And every day I fall deeper. That's not sustainable. You can't build a relationship on obsession. Watch me. His smile was sad. I know it's too much. I know I'm too intense. But Ethan, I've spent 32 years being controlled, being told who to be and what to want. And then I met you, and for the first time, I wanted something that was just mine. Not my grandfather's choice, not the board's approval, mine. I'm not a possession. No, you're a person I'm desperately in love with, who apparently doesn't trust that I mean it. He stepped back, running his hands through his hair. So tell me, what do I have to do? What proof do you need? I don't know, I whispered. Then let me show you. He pulled out his phone, made a call. Marcus, I need you to send Ethan the original contract drafts, the ones I refused to sign. Yes, all of them. And the correspondence with Westbrook's lawyers where I explicitly told them to fuck off. Everything. Send it now. He hung up. My phone buzzed almost immediately. A flood of emails from Marcus. I opened them with shaking hands. Email after email of Liam refusing the engagement contract, threatening to sue if they tried to enforce it, telling his own lawyers that he'd rather lose money than marry Chloe. The dates were all from months ago, long before he met me. You really didn't sign it, I breathed. I told you. He took my phone, gently, set it aside. I was already looking for a way out before that night in the elevator. You didn't give me an excuse to leave her. You gave me a reason to finally burn it all down. But the emails about relationship strategy were sent to me, not from me. My lawyers were proposing it as a defense. I never approved it. He showed me his phone, a response to his legal team dated Wednesday afternoon. Our relationship is not a legal strategy. Do not refer to it as such in any further correspondence. If you can't defend me without using Ethan, find a different approach. L. Fresh tears fell. Oh my God, I'm such an idiot. No, you were scared.
But Ethan, you can't run from me. I can't survive it. When I came home and you were gone, I thought I'd lost you. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I clung to him, my face buried in his chest. I should have talked to you first. I should have trusted you. Yes, you should have. Because I meant what I said. I love you. Obsessively, excessively, in ways that probably aren't healthy. And the next time you're scared, you come to me. You don't run. What if I hadn't run? What if Chloe had fabricated something worse? Then we would have handled it together. He tilted my face up. That's what this is, Ethan. Us, together. Not you protecting yourself from me. Not me handling everything alone. Together. I don't know how to do that. I've always handled things alone. Then learn. He kissed my forehead. Because I'm not letting you go. Ever. So you'd better get used to having someone in your corner. You're so dramatic. About you? Always. He pulled back to look at me properly. Now pack your stuff. We're going home. What about my parents? Already arranged. My driver is picking them up in 2 hours to take them back to the Vermont house, the one I actually own, not this motel. Seriously, Ethan, this place? It was cheap and didn't ask questions. You're dating a billionaire. Cheap is no longer a concern. He picked up my duffel bag, started throwing my scattered clothes into it. From now on, if you need to run from me, which you won't, you at least do it in a 5-star hotel. That defeats the purpose of hiding. Good. Then don't hide. He zipped the bag closed, turned to face me. I don't want secrets between us. I don't want you second-guessing this. So I'm going to say this once, and you're going to believe me. He took both my hands, his gray eyes intense.
I love you, Ethan Miller. Not because you're convenient, not because you're useful, not because you got me out of an engagement. I love you because you make me laugh, because you call me out when I'm being an arrogant ass, because you look at me like I'm just a man, not a bank account or a business opportunity, because you're brave and kind, and you kissed me back in that elevator even though you had no idea what you were getting into. His thumbs traced the circles on the backs of my hands. And yes, I'm obsessed with you. Yes, I'm possessive. Yes, I will probably scare you sometimes with how far I'm willing to go to keep you safe. But Ethan, his voice softened, that's who I am. That's how I love. And I'm asking you to accept it, to accept me, all of me, even the parts that are too much. I was crying again. You're definitely too much. I know. And you're probably going to drive me crazy. Probably. And I love you anyway. I pulled him close, kissed him properly. I love you so much it terrifies me, because I've never had anything worth losing before. Then don't lose me. He kissed me back, slow and deep and claiming. Stay. Fight with me when I'm being impossible. Tell me when I'm being too intense, but don't run. Promise me you won't run again. I promise. I rested my forehead against his. But Liam, you have to promise something too. Anything. If I'm too much, if my baggage or my fear or my complete inexperience with healthy relationships becomes a problem, you tell me. You don't just absorb it and pretend it's fine. Deal. He smiled, and it was like the sun breaking through clouds. Now can we please get out of this depressing motel? I have plans for you that require much better accommodations. What kind of plans? His smile turned wicked. The kind where I remind you exactly who you belong to. Heat flooded through me. That sounds... A knock on the door interrupted us. My dad's voice. Ethan, is everything okay? We heard voices. Liam's expression was pure amusement. Should we tell them I flew here in a helicopter to drag you back to New York? Let's maybe leave out the helicopter part. I opened the door to find both my parents standing there in their pajamas, looking worried and confused. Ethan? Mom asked. Then she saw Liam. Oh. Mr. and Mrs. Miller? Liam offered a professional smile despite his wrinkled suit and exhausted eyes. Sorry for the early morning disturbance. I needed to speak with your son. Dad looked between us, taking in our red eyes and emotional state. Everything okay? Yes, sir. There was a misunderstanding. Some fabricated documents that made Ethan think I was using him. Liam's hand found mine, squeezed. But we've talked it through, and I'd like to formally apologize for any stress this has caused your family. Apologize by getting our son home safely, Dad said gruffly, but he was smiling slightly.
And maybe by being less of an idiot next time. Dad, I hissed. What? He flew to Vermont to chase you down. That's either very romantic or very stalkerish. I'm choosing to believe romantic. Dad looked at Liam. Don't make me regret it. I won't, sir. Liam's voice was sincere. I'm in love with your son, and I plan to spend a very long time proving I'm worthy of him. Mom made a soft sound. Oh, that's lovely. Ethan, honey, I like him. Mom. Well, I do. He's intense, yes, but intensity isn't a bad thing when it's focused on the right person. She kissed my cheek. Go home with him. We'll be fine here. Actually, Liam interjected, my driver will be here in 2 hours to take you back to the house in Vermont, the one with the view, not this establishment. Oh, thank God, Mom said. I was trying to be polite, but this place has questionable carpet stains. Dad laughed. Come on, Maria. Let's let them have their dramatic reunion in peace. They disappeared back into their room, and I turned to Liam. My parents are insane. Your parents are wonderful. Now come on, helicopter's waiting. You actually brought a helicopter. You actually ran to Vermont. We're both dramatic. Now let's go home. The helicopter ride back to New York was surreal. Liam held my hand the entire time. His thumb traced patterns on my skin like he needed the constant contact to believe I was real. What happens now with Chloe? I asked over the sound of the rotors. The FBI arrested her this morning. Federal charges for fabricating evidence and interfering with an investigation. His expression went cold. She's going to prison, Ethan, for a long time. And the lawsuit? Dismissed. The contract was never valid because I never signed it. My lawyers are also pursuing charges against her legal team for ethics violations. He squeezed my hand. It's over. She can't hurt you anymore. I should have felt relief. Instead, I just felt exhausted. Hey, Liam tilted my face toward his. You okay? I don't know. I feel like I've been running on adrenaline for a week and it's finally catching up. Then sleep, Ethan. We're going straight to the penthouse. You're taking the day off, and I'm not leaving your side. Don't you have work? I'm the CEO. I'll delegate. Right now, my only job is making sure you're okay. I closed my eyes, letting his warmth and the steady thrum of the helicopter lull me into exhaustion. Just before I drifted off, I heard him whisper, I've got you. I'll always have you. And for the first time since Wednesday morning, I believed him.
We landed on the roof of Sterling Corp Tower just after 9 a.m. Liam half carried me to his private elevator, keeping me upright as my exhaustion hit full force.
Almost there, he murmured. The elevator opened into his penthouse. Josh was on the couch, eating cereal and watching the news. Oh, thank God, he said when he saw us. Please tell me you two worked it out, because the amount of pining and brooding that was happening here yesterday was unbearable. We worked it out, I confirmed. Good, because I have a date tonight and I need advice on what to wear, and you're the only person I know who's dating a literal billionaire. Liam smiled. The guest room is yours as long as you want it, but right now I'm taking Ethan to bed. It's 9 a.m. To sleep, Josh. He hasn't slept in 36 hours. Oh, right, that makes sense. Josh waved us off. Go, sleep. I'll order food for later. Liam guided me to the bedroom, helped me out of my clothes, and tucked me into his massive bed. Then he stripped down to boxers and climbed in beside me. Sleep, he ordered softly. I've got you. I curled into his warmth. I love you. I love you too. He kissed the top of my head. And Ethan, next time you're scared, you talk to me first. Deal? Deal. Good boy. I was asleep within seconds. Chapter 9. I slept for 14 hours straight. When I finally woke up, it was 11 p.m. Thursday night, and Liam was sitting in a chair beside the bed, laptop balanced on his knees, working by the light of a single lamp. You're still here, I said groggily. He looked up immediately, a smile crossing his face. I told you I wasn't leaving your side. How do you feel? Like I got hit by a truck, a very expensive, emotionally complicated truck. That's fair. He closed the laptop and crossed to the bed, sitting on the edge. Hungry? My stomach growled in response. I'll take that as a yes. He pressed the intercom button on the nightstand. Josh, can you heat up the food Marcus brought earlier? Thanks. You had Marcus bring food?
Marcus brings everything. He's disturbingly efficient. Liam's hand found mine. We need to talk about what happens next. My chest tightened. That sounds ominous. Not ominous, just necessary. He took a breath. The FBI wants to interview you about the threats Chloe made, the documents she sent. It's all evidence for their case against her. When? Monday. They're giving you the weekend to recover. His thumb traced circles on my hand. I'll be there with you, and my lawyers. You won't be alone. What's she being charged with? Wire fraud, witness intimidation, interference with a federal investigation, and attempted extortion. His expression hardened. If convicted on all counts, she's looking at 15 to 20 years. I absorbed that. Chloe Westbrook, society princess, woman who'd been threatening my family just days ago, was going to prison. And her family? I asked. Her parents are being charged separately for the financial fraud. Their assets have been frozen pending investigation. He paused. The Westbrook family is essentially bankrupt and facing criminal prosecution. They're finished, Ethan. Because of me. Because of them, his grip tightened. Because they made illegal choices. Because Chloe decided threatening innocent people was an acceptable strategy. This isn't your fault. But I hadn't... If you hadn't what? Existed? Met me? Kissed me back in that elevator? He cupped my face. Ethan, you didn't cause this. You didn't force Chloe to drug me. You didn't force her family to commit fraud. You didn't force her to threaten your parents. She made those choices, and now she's paying the consequences. Josh appeared in the doorway with a tray of food. Dinner is served. Also, there were like 6 reporters outside the building. Apparently, word got out about the arrest. Liam swore softly. I'll have security clear them out. Already done. Marcus is scary efficient. Josh set the tray on the bed. Eat, you both look like hell. He left, closing the door behind him. I looked at the food. Thai, my favorite, probably from the same place Liam had ordered from before, and I suddenly was crying. Hey, Liam pulled me close immediately. What's wrong? I don't know. Everything. Nothing. I'm overwhelmed. A week ago, I was nobody. Now I'm dating a billionaire, involved in a federal case, and somehow responsible for destroying an entire family. You're not responsible. But I feel responsible. I pulled back. And I know that's not rational. I know Chloe made her own choices. But Liam, she lost everything because she couldn't have you. And I get it. If someone tried to take you from me, I don't know what I'd do. You wouldn't commit multiple felonies, he said dryly. That's the difference between you and her. You're a good person, Ethan. She's not. Don't confuse empathy with culpability. That's very therapist of you. I started seeing one after you left. He said it casually, but I could hear the weight behind it. I realized that if I wanted this to work, if we wanted us to work, I needed to get a handle on the obsessive tendencies, the need to control everything, the fear that if I let you out of my sight, you'd disappear.
Liam, I'm not saying I'm going to change who I am. I'm still going to be intense and possessive and probably too much sometimes. You smiled slightly. But I want to learn how to be those things in a way that doesn't suffocate you, in a way that's healthy. My heart did something complicated. You're really serious about this, about us. I told you I love you. That's not something I say lightly. He took my hand. I want this to work, Ethan. I want you in my life for the long term, not just as my boyfriend, but as my partner, in everything. That's a lot of pressure. Then we'll handle it together. He squeezed my hand. But I need you to talk to me when you're scared, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when the intensity gets to be too much. I can't read your mind, and I can't fix problems I don't know exist. I'm not good at talking about feelings. Neither was I until I met you, he smiled. We'll learn together. We ate in comfortable silence for a while, the city glittering outside the windows. It felt normal, domestic, like maybe, just maybe, we could actually make this work. What happens Monday? I asked eventually, after the FBI interview. You go back to work. I go back to running the company. We figure out our new normal. He set down his fork. Though I should warn you, the press is going to be interested in our relationship for a while, especially after the trial. Trial?
Chloe's criminal trial. It'll probably be 6 months to a year before it goes to court, but when it does, our relationship will be examined, scrutinized. There will be questions about how we met, the timeline, everything. My stomach turned. I have to testify? Probably, as a witness to her threats. He moved the food tray aside and pulled me into his lap. But I'll be there. My lawyers will be there. You won't face it alone. I hate this. I know, he kissed my temple. But Ethan, after this, after the trial and the media circus and all of it, we'll have peace. No more threats, no more drama. Just us, figuring out how to be together. You really think it'll be that simple? No, it'll be complicated and messy and probably involve more therapy sessions than I'd like. His smile was soft. But it'll be worth it, because you're worth it. I kissed him then, slow and sweet, trying to pour everything I felt into it. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. I trust you. When we finally pulled apart, he was smiling. Better? He asked. Getting there. I rested my head on the shoulder. Tell me something good, something that has nothing to do with lawsuits or arrests or drama. He thought for a moment. Your mom called me today. I jerked upright. What? She wanted to make sure you were okay, and to thank me for the house in Vermont. His smile widened. She also told me that if I hurt you, she'd find a way to poison my food that would be undetectable and slow-acting. She did not. She absolutely did. Your mother is terrifying. I respect it. He pulled me back against him. Your dad also called. Wanted to know my intentions. Oh, God. I told him I intended to marry you eventually, when you're ready. He said, good answer, and hung up. My heart stopped. You told my dad you want to marry me? Eventually, when you're ready. He said it so casually, like it was already decided. Is that a problem? We've been dating for a week. 8 days, technically. He kissed my neck. But I'm not proposing tomorrow. I'm just stating my intentions. I'm in this for the long term, Ethan. I want you to know that. That's insane. That's us. He pulled back to look at me. Are you freaking out? A little bit. Want me to take it back? I thought about it. Really thought about it. About Liam saying he wanted to marry me someday. About building a life together. About being with him not just for months, but for years. No, I said finally. I don't want you to take it back. But maybe we could, I don't know, date for more than 8 days before planning a wedding? Deal. His smile was brilliant. So you're not running again. No more running, I promise. I kissed him. Even when you're being impossible. Especially when you're being impossible. That's when you need to stay and call me out. Now come on, we're taking a shower and then you're getting a proper night's sleep. Tomorrow, we start figuring out our actual life together. No more crisis mode. Just regular life? Regular billionaire life with excessive security and occasional media intrusion, he grinned. But yes, regular. 3 months later. The trial started on a cold Monday in February. I sat in the courtroom, Liam beside me, his hand gripping mine under the table as the prosecution outlined their case against Chloe Westbrook. Wire fraud, witness intimidation, attempted extortion. The charges were read one by one, each carrying years of prison time. Chloe sat at the defense table, looking nothing like the polished socialite I'd first seen. Her hair was pulled back severely, her face paled without makeup, wearing a simple suit instead of designer clothes. She looked small, defeated. When she met my eyes across the courtroom, I saw hatred, pure, burning hatred. Liam's hand tightened on mine.
You okay? He whispered.
Yeah, and surprisingly I was. She can't hurt us anymore. No, he agreed. She can't. The trial lasted 3 weeks. I testified for 2 days, recounting the threats, the documents, the terror I'd felt for my family's safety. Liam's lawyers were brilliant, turning every question into an opportunity to demonstrate the calculated nature of Chloe's actions. When the verdict came in, guilty on all counts, I felt nothing but relief. Sentencing was set for 2 months later. The prosecution was asking for the maximum, 20 years. We left the courthouse to a sea of reporters and camera flashes. Mr. Sterling, how do you feel about the verdict? Mr. Miller, are you satisfied with the outcome? Will this affect your relationship? Liam's security team guided us through the crowd to the waiting car. Once inside, he pulled me close. "It's over," he breathed. "It's really over." "Yeah," I kissed him. "Now what?" "Now?" His smile was wicked. "Now I take you home and show you exactly how I feel about this being over." That sounds promising. That sounds like I'm not letting you out of bed for at least 24 hours. Liam, we both have work tomorrow. I'm the CEO. How delegate? He kissed me deeply, thoroughly, possessively. You're mine for the next 24 hours. No interruptions, no crisis. Just us. Just us, I agreed. And for the first time since that night in the elevator, it really was just us. No threats hanging over our heads, no drama waiting around the corner, just two people figuring out how to love each other in all the messy, complicated, beautiful ways that came with it. 1 month later, March. "I have a surprise for you," Liam said one Saturday morning. I looked up from my coffee, suspicious. "What kind of surprise?" "The good kind. Get dressed. We're going out." 20 minutes later, we were in his town car heading toward Sterling Corp. "Why are we going to the office on a Saturday?" I asked. "You'll see." He led me inside the empty building, through the lobby where we'd first walked hand in hand, to the elevator bank, the same elevator where everything started. "Liam, what?" He pressed a button. The doors opened. We stepped inside, and suddenly I was transported back to that night, the small space, the heat between us, the moment everything changed. 8 months ago, Liam said as the doors closed, I stumbled into this elevator drugged, angry, and convinced I was going to marry someone I hated. It hasn't been 8 months, it's been 4. Shh, I'm being romantic. He pulled me close. And then I crashed into you, this terrified file clerk with cheap soap and coffee on his breath. And in that moment, everything changed. Liam, let me finish. He reached into his pocket. You told me once that if I really loved me, you'd find me. And I did. I flew to Vermont. I tracked you down. I proved that I wasn't letting you go. My heart started hammering. But I realized something over the past few months. He pulled out a small box, a ring box. Ethan Miller, will you marry me? The elevator hung suspended between floors, just like it had that first night. But this time, I wasn't terrified. I wasn't running. I was home. Yes, I whispered. Yes, you insane, obsessive, beautiful man. I'll marry you. His smile was incandescent. He slid the ring onto my finger, then kissed me like he was trying to memorize the moment, deep and claiming and full of promise. When we finally pulled apart, we were both crying. I love you, he said, so fucking much. I love you too, I laughed through my tears, even though you proposed in the same elevator where you were drugged and I almost got fired. This elevator is special. It's where I found you, where everything started. He kissed me again, and now it's where we're beginning the rest of our lives. The elevator started moving again, carrying us upward. Where are we going? I asked. The roof. His smile turned mischievous. I have champagne waiting, and a photographer, and possibly your parents who I flew in this morning. You planned all this? I've been planning this for 2 months. He squeezed my hand. I was waiting for the trial to end, for the drama to be over, for us to have a moment of peace where I could ask you without anything hanging over our heads. You're ridiculous. I'm in love. He kissed my forehead. There's a difference. The elevator opened onto the roof where my parents were indeed waiting, along with Josh, Marcus, and a photographer. Champagne was set up on a table, city views stretched in all directions, and a banner read, "He said yes." You were pretty confident. I know you, and I knew you'd say yes, because what we have, it's forever, Ethan, whether you're ready to admit it or not. I'm ready, I said, looking at the ring on my finger, at the man beside me, at the life we were building together. I'm finally ready. Good, his arms tightened, because I'm never letting you go. You're mine now, legally, officially, forever. Forever sounds perfect. Then it's a good thing we're just getting started. Epilogue. 1 year later. Ethan, have you seen my left pocket of your jacket? I called from the kitchen. The one you threw on the bed last night. I heard him rummaging. Then, found it. You're a genius. I've lived with you for 2 years. I know where you lose things.
Liam appeared in the kitchen doorway, adjusting his cufflinks. What would I do without you? Lose every important document you own and probably your mind. He crossed to where I stood, making coffee, pulled me into his arms. Probably, but that's why I married you. Someone has to keep me sane. Debatable whether I'm succeeding at that. You're definitely succeeding. He kissed me thoroughly, making me forget about the coffee. I love you. I love you too. Now go before Marcus has a coronary. He left, and I heard the elevator ding as he departed. I stood in our kitchen, our penthouse, our home, and smiled. A year and a half ago, I'd been nobody. Now I was CFO of Sterling Corp's Acquisitions Division, married to the man I loved, and happier than I'd ever imagined possible. My phone buzzed, a text from Liam. Already miss you. Can't wait for tonight. I'm taking you home and not letting you leave the bedroom. L. I texted back. Promises, promises. Try to focus on your meeting. E. Impossible when I'm thinking about you. See you at 6. I love you. L. Love you too. Now stop texting and run your empire. E. I set down my phone and finished my coffee, looking out at the city that had become home. It hadn't been easy. The past year had been intense. Therapy sessions, learning to communicate better, navigating the public interest in our relationship, dealing with the occasional reporter who still wanted the inside story on how we got together. But every day, Liam proved he chose me. Every day, I chose him back. And that obsessive, consuming, slightly insane love turned out to be exactly what I needed. The end.